Have you ever imagined what type of art you would create if you were given the opportunity to design a piece of public art? Well, in this segment of Frame, we speak with a visual artist who has had that opportunity and privilege. Joining me now is artist Eli Sotillo, who is from South America, but here in Iowa City, gracing us with his presence and his talent. Thank you for joining me on Frame.
Oh, no problem. You're welcome.
So tell us about your art.
Basically, I have two different types of styles I like to explore. First, it's the exploration between the relationship of my wife and I, and that's just like a longitudinal study. Longitudinal is more of an idea based on science, and longitudinal just means a study over a long period of time.
Okay.
So then that's just basically the study of someone's life for a long period of time and how they would change within the canvas. So basically taking a photograph and except I'm painting her and capturing these specific emotions in time. As far as the public art is concerned, I prefer to tackle different social contexts. As far as the one that I did here in Iowa City, I wanted to tackle the idea of people coming together regardless of who we are, regardless of sexual orientation, race, religious belief. The main idea behind the mural is that there's one thing that truly binds everybody, and I believe this regardless of where you live, and that's just the search of happiness. So if you have that main commonality, then why are we considered to be so different? So that's the main idea
behind the mural. And right now we're sitting in the lobby of Hotel Vitro, and behind us is Eli's mural that he created earlier this year with great acclaim and buzz in the community, and it's just a really beautiful piece of art. You have obviously a very, let's say, intense social conscience, but you're very aware of the connectivity of humanity. How have people responded to this piece?
From my understanding and from some of the people who have stopped me, they really enjoy it. They really appreciate the fact that I'm taking something that's blank and turning it into something that people can look at and try to decipher the meaning behind an image, instead of just looking at something and then keep on walking. So
right, just sit down or stand back and study the art and figure out how you as a viewer are connected to it, and from your perspective try to tap into your mind.
Right.
Now, when did this all start, and how did it start?
This all started, it was a partnership between Mark Moen and I had done some other commissions and some other works for him, and he approached me about the whole idea and the whole project, and he said, would you be willing to paint this wall for me? And I said, absolutely. It's an incredible opportunity to do that. So I chose to, it took about 1.5 years to process everything, the designing, the contracts that I had to go through with the city to make sure that everything was approved, and then it went through the Public Art Committee, and they went ahead and approved it, and then it went to vote with the City Council as well. So.
Oh wow, quite the process.
Yes, it was quite the process, yes.
Did you know what type of theme you wanted to move forward with once you and Mark spoke? Initially
I did a rough draft, and that's what I had initially presented to the Public Art Committee. And I said it was still the same idea, it was just a rough draft, and then after that I evolved it into what it is to be now.
Today.
Yeah.
But from a thematic standpoint of helping the community here connect even more as the community continues to grow and there's far more diversity coming into the area and to the quarter overall, I was just wondering from that perspective if that's something that you really tapped into and saw that this would be a great venue to bring that to life.
I thought so too. I really think that murals and public art in general have a really good response in a community. There has been studies have been shown, such as in Arizona, they took a very impoverished area and artists came, or they went there and decided to paint all these murals, and within 1 year it created over 100 jobs. So just within that idea, you could just help people out even without having a direct relationship with the people.
Sure.
So
It really builds. You know, Phoenix has, the Phoenix area in particular, I don't know if that piece was there or maybe in Tucson, has a lot of public art, and it's something that, I used to live there.
Oh, okay.
And I still go back and forth, but I greatly appreciate more as I travel around. There are a lot of communities who don't have it or don't celebrate it, so I think that's something that is very special to this area. What other parts of the world have you been in that has really incredible public art that's inspired your work?
Chicago,
Yeah.
California, LA, Philadelphia, New York City, Florida. There's many places. In Venezuela, there's lots of murals down there. Costa Rica has a lot of murals. Rio de Janeiro in Brazil is, their work is beyond belief amazing. I've never had the opportunity to visit Europe, but their focus on murals is pretty incredible.
Yes.
So.
So lots of places.
Yeah.
And bring a little bit of the world right here to our own backyard.
Absolutely.
What do you see future trends are for public art?
In my hope is that this project will actually carry more mural projects or more public art projects. It's not just necessarily about the artists coming out, it's also about providing a sense of work for people who don't have the opportunity to go to museums, who don't have that source readily available. This is just work that's meant for the people without any sort of entrance fee. So.
That's a great way to put it. The show, I started it because I love art, and it's referred to as an outsider artist. I've always been around it, and I realized over time how many people were a little intimidated by art and going into a museum or going into a gallery and not understanding protocols, and so they tend to shy away from engaging with it. So that's a perfect analogy for that. It's a public art museum, and they can choose to engage with the art on their time and for as long as they want, and it's all there for free, which is really great.
Exactly. Yep.
What public art would you like to see come to Iowa City?
I would definitely love to see more murals. I'm a painter at heart. I would love to see more established artists come to Iowa City. I think that Iowa City has a lot to offer. I also believe that Iowa City has a large amount of talent as far as the arts are concerned, whether if it's music, dance, poetry, writing. We have that sort of ability to compete. So I really feel that if more artists came about, I think that opportunity should definitely be taken.
What do we need to do? I think we're going to have to get creative here.
I don't know.
Start engaging public and private sector.
Yeah, I don't know. That's maybe just take baby steps. You know, there are a lot of spaces around here that definitely deserve a piece of work. So
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And as far as your paintings, do you show your paintings in any galleries, or how do you work that side of your business?
I prefer to show my work online, or I occasionally will do some commissions. However, I have not had the opportunity to show in a gallery as of yet, but eventually I would like to. So.
Do you have any words of wisdom for emerging artists who have this type of work as their goal?
Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Even though, for me, one of my most favorite painters is Van Gogh. Being that his line work, his ability to use color was amazing. However, throughout his lifetime, he only sold 2 pieces. And now he's one of the most cherished painters of our time. So I believe that you just can't, you just live to paint for yourself and just keep going. You can't ever let somebody tell you that you can't do something. So.
I agree with you. Yeah. And will you speak to your experience growing up in Venezuela? I love South American culture, and I just am very curious as to the commonalities that you see in the art community wherever they are. So,
as far as commonalities, it's kind of hard to say. Venezuela's architecture is very bright. People's houses people really don't use siding. It's mostly they just paint their houses in different colors. It brings a sense of vibrancy and sense of life behind our culture. Our aesthetics are a little bit different. Some of our murals are all tile murals, so they're mosaics. They go from mosaics to frescoes, so it's quite a diverse culture. So
one day I'm gonna visit.
me too, hopefully.
Where should I go? Where should I go first?
Yeah. I would think you should go to Caracas, which is the capital of Venezuela. Then you should go to Maracay, which is where I'm from, and then you should venture to the coast and go to the beaches and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Go to the Amazon, see the beautiful animals out there. So, yeah.
All right, I'm inspired. Well, thank you so much
Oh,
for
no
sharing
problem.
your vision and
No problem.
telling us about the creative process and your work overall.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, my total privilege.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into this segment of Frame.
Frame is sponsored by Allegra, Click Marketing Solutions, Stylefolio Jewelry,